My name is Dominic Santucci, and I'm 68 years old now. In about another month, I'll be 69 years old. I was drafted in 1966. I was 19 years old. I'm a barber. I started before I went to Vietnam. I was an apprentice. They took me out of my apprenticeship. It's a year-and-a-half apprenticeship in New Jersey. I served 1 year. I had 6 months left. When I came out, they made me do the entire apprenticeship over again. We came back, we weren't respected. You know, we were called baby killers. And my friends said, what'd you go for? You know, you should have went to Canada. No, that's not what the honor of my family did. My father and 3 uncles were all in World War II. My dad said to me, you're going to go away a boy and you're going to come back a man. So I was proud to go, and I'm proud to be sitting here telling you about it. I had a specialty job, taking care of the priest, seeing that the guys got counseling, last rites, medical attention, wrote letters home when guys were killed. We had to write the letters home. And that's why the psychiatrist again said, geez, you did all of that stuff. I'm surprised you don't have PTSD. I looked at it as a job. I did it well. And I think the difference is I didn't know the guys who were killed. I think if it happened to a friend of mine, I'd be angry. That's one thing that does happen. And when one of your friends is wounded or hurt, you have this feeling you got to get one. You got to get even. So the guys up forward, they all got a little crazy. I saw a guy, we went visited an Air Force base. I go, hey Fritz, what are you doing? He's got camouflage with a bush hat. That was the floppy kind of hat. He didn't have a helmet. And I said, what are you doing? He says, I'm a long-range reconnaissance patrol. They're called LRPs. So I go, what's that on your ammo belt? You know, look like apricots. He said, they're ears. I said, ears? I said, what do you mean? He says, well, we're not supposed to make contact, but they drop us in a helicopter and we would come in contact with an enemy squad. And he says, we cut their ears off. There was an incident where 375 of our guys were wounded. I carried the bodies that night. We had left that night to go back to base camp. That forward fire base was hit. So we get called over to the hospital, and I ended up carrying the bodies in. The doctors were yelling for clamps. They got guys lined up, they're operating. Doctors screaming, clamps, clamps. He's holding a guy's heart. His chest is ripped open. Oh, it was a hell of a day. He's holding his heart, yelling, clamp, and they had female nurses yelling, doctor, we don't have any more. He says, get me dirty ones. Okay, he was trying to stop this guy from bleeding out. Okay, and that was the day I said, this is the day that my father meant. Then I knew I was a man, because I made it through. On January 24th, 1968, I was in my bunk. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and somebody shook me, and Santucci, pack up, you're going home. And I felt so bad when I left that base camp. I looked back and I thought, oh my God, all that happened there. And I'm never going to see this again. But I left my guys. I left my 2 priests. One was a minister, one was a priest, the doctor. These guys that I bodyguarded and took up there. It was a weird thing. I was glued to the TV at home. Glued to it, trying to see what was going on with my friends, my guys.